Nieces and nephews, what's going on, man? It's Unc. And y'all see the title of the video. Y'all already know what type of topic I'm on. But before we get into that, question of the day, man. What is y'all favorite food to eat? Y'all let me know in the comment section below. Hey, listen here. Just put it down there and I will rate it 1 through 10 of how good I can cook it. Yes, Chef Unc is in the building. Yeah, I'm a, by the way, I'm a cook, I'm a chef, whatever you want to call it. And yes, I can cook pretty good. I do it for a living. But yeah, so y'all just let me know what it is that y'all love to eat, y'all favorite food, and I would tell you if I could cook it, how good I can cook it basically. But that's just something fun that we're gonna do in the comment section below. But let's get into this video today, and that is going to be turning negative emotion into positive energy, right? A lot of us have these negative emotions already inside of us, man, and that's like one of the biggest things that will deteriorate you from your success is these negative emotions, right? And negative emotions are weird, bro, because they come from a place of just already what you think is normal, right? But it's also coming from that place of negativity, right? It's coming from a place of where you are trying to get away from. Think about it like this. Nobody wants to be mad. Nobody wants to be sad. Nobody wants to be depressed. Nobody wants to be unhappy. Nobody wants none of that. So we all want to get away from that. But these emotions just keep coming from that space. They keep coming from that area, right? And it sucks because we let those emotions kind of overtake how we are as a person. And the thing is, you aren't your emotions. So why are you letting these emotions take you over? You have to fight that. And that is the hardest thing to do is fight our own emotions. Fight we are dealing with an internal battle, right? Internally we have these bad thoughts, bad vibes or whatever. And we don't want to deal with those all the time. But how do we turn that negativity into something more positive, right? One of the main things I want to always say is anger, right? I think anger is one of the things that, fuels me. I remember I wanted vengeance, anger. When me and my ex broke up, I was devastated, right? But I was sad, but I was more so angry than anything. So when I was angry, I didn't go and hit her or hit wall. Like, I just went and I had to channel that emotion into something positive. So the thing is, when you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're down, when you're angry, when you're mad, when whatever, I want you to try to not so much think about it as, oh, I'm sad. I want you to think about these things as energy. Because when you're sad, when you're happy, when you're whatever, you have a different type of energy within you. When you're sad, you have a calm energy within you. And what you can do with that calm energy is do whatever you want to do with it. You can get on a game, you can play you can play a game, like I said, you can watch some videos, you can make content, do whatever it is you want to do with that calm energy, right? And that's one of the things for me that helped me realize that these feelings are made for a reason. And because I was always sitting down thinking, like, why do we get mad? Why do we get sad? Why is that even embedded within us, right? As human beings, why do we get jealous? Why do these things happen to us, right? Why do we feel the way that we feel, especially negatively, right? Because there are damn near more negative emotions than positive ones. Feeling happy is cool. Feeling joyful is cool, but for the most part, man, things tick you off, things piss you off, then you get mad, you get angry, you get upset, you get sad, you have all these different emotions that started to hit you at once, and that's where it's like, whoa, that it becoming a little too much. But those emotions are for a reason, and that's to fuel the energy within you. And you have to take that energy and use that energy for something better, something positive in your life, rather than sitting there like, oh, I'm just sad or oh, I'm just so angry or whatever. You have to use that energy for something more positive. One of the things that I know for me that calms me down is using it for content creation. Y'all let me know in the comments below what is something that y'all can spend y'all energy on to where y'all can let go of some of those negative and just heart wrenching emotions, man. because one of the things that I've learned about, this whole process of me in the last 6 to 7 months was turning my energy from something so negative into something positive and making it into something greater for myself, right? Rather than sitting there focusing on me just being sad or me just being mad or me just being unhappy, I had to realize that this is energy given to me. This is not just me having these emotions for no reason, right? God will not allow you to feel nothing for no reason. He will not let you go through sadness for no reason, right? So there's a reason for everything. And those emotions, those whatever you lose in something, whatever you like, for example, if you lose a game of rivals, you are still gaining experience. That's what people don't understand about losing certain things, right? When you lose certain things, you gain still. It does not matter, right? And when you lose like people out of your life, when you lose just even something minuscule, like I said, like a match or something, or when you lose your rank, or when you lose your car keys, or when you lose your wallet, you're still gaining something from that experience. You're still gaining something from that experience, knowledge about that experience. You're still gaining, like, for example, you lose your keys. Oh, okay, let me not put my keys there no more. Or let me not lollygag with my keys. Now you're thinking like, okay, let me put my keys in a more conscious spot. And you're more conscious of it now. And that's what you're gaining from it is you're being more conscious about certain situations about your life. Are you being more conscious about certain things that you have to do on an everyday basis rather than just being so just letting the day go by or just being lackadaisical with it. Now you have to be more conscious about how you do things. And that will help you out in the future. You just don't realize it yet. But that's the whole thing about turning negative energy or negative emotions into positive energy. It's something that you have to work on in yourself, right? And it's hard at first. It's really hard to do that. One of the main ways that I'm able to do it is, like I said, I find something, like for example, if it's video games or if really it was content creation for me, where I would just come home and I would just create, I would just create, I would just create because that is something that fueled my that the energy I had, that all the emotion, that anger, fuel energy for me to just sit there and start doing content. That's something that I did. I gave my all, I gave my heart into it. So that's the same thing that I would want y'all to do too, man, is, be able to channel that energy. And I don't want you to sit there with those emotions and just sit there and let those emotions rot on your heart. Because the one thing that you don't want to do is sit there with those negative emotions and let it just rot on you. That's why you're supposed to turn that into positive energy, is because those negative emotions will eat you alive. You have to turn that negativity into something positive, or else you're just going to be a negative person, or else those negative feelings are going to take you over and then you're going to have a chip on your shoulder, or else it will make you very sad or make you depressed and put these thoughts inside your mind that you don't want inside your mind. So you have to do something with that energy right away, right? And I think that that's like the biggest thing for a lot of people is they don't understand that it gives off that energy. So if you have the energy to do something, if you are angry about something, I want you to think of it as not so much being angry. I want you to think of it as energy that's being given to you. God is giving you this energy. Yes, you might be angry in that moment. I understand. Trust me, I get it. I get how people feel, man. Trust me, I understand these feelings. It's something deep. But just because you feel that way does not mean that you can't do something greater or do something positive with those emotions. And the biggest thing for me as a man was when I had figured out that my anger, I had to walk away from a lot of stuff. My anger was, one of the main things that held me back a lot from being the man that I am today. And so I thank God that I was able to control that anger and control that and just kind of dial it back. Even though on the game I still be raging and stuff. And even then I need to start to dial that back. But I know for the most part, like in person and everything like that in real life, I used to be so angry. I used to demand respect. I used to have all these things in my head, man. But I had to realize that hot headedness, all of that, man, just it's not worth it to let it go. And once I started letting it go, or I still will feel angry about it, but I had to start turning that energy into something. That's why I was saying that positive energy. You have to turn it into something positive to better your life and better your situation, man. And that's how you're gonna get through, and that's how you're gonna break through in life without trying to sit there and spearhead it and go through it like, oh man, this is just happening to me. All these negative things are happening. Man, it's okay. And use those negativity for a more positive outlook on your life. And I feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again. So that's how I know it's time to end this video. But yeah. That's all I really wanted to tell y'all, man. It really just, I had that on my heart, had that on my mind for a minute because that's something that I've done countless amount of times when it comes to anger, when it comes to sadness, depression. I have to turn that into energy for myself to do content or turn that into energy for myself to get up and play a game or something like that or whatever. It's always still energy that is surrounded by. Remember that. And if you need to talk to somebody about your emotions, about how to regulate them or anything like that, trust me, I'm not the best at regulating my own emotions. But what I can say is that it's a process. And the process that you have to go down is going to be a harder road than you would think. But it is light at the end of that tunnel. And on top of light at the end of that tunnel, on top of there being light there, it's not as difficult as it seems once you start to get into it. Everything seems difficult from the outside looking in until you start doing it and realizing, man, it's really not that hard, right? At first, it might be difficult. Like when you go to the gym, at first, it's going to be hard. It's going to be, man, you're going to feel sore. You're going to be tired and everything, right? But then when you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going, that's going to be regular. That's going to get regular to you. And then it's like, oh, okay, this is a regular routine for me. Oh, okay, this is just a regular thing to me now. So that first workout that you did back then, it's not gonna feel the same a month later. It's gonna feel light work to you to a point to where now you gotta add more stuff on. So that's the same way with your emotions, man. Sometimes at first it's gonna hurt, man. It's gonna feel bad, and you're not gonna know what to do with them. But then once you start to understand it, and once you start to go through it, once you start putting that negative emotion into positive energy, then you can be like, oh, okay, man, look, I'm feeling angry. Okay. If I feel angry, I feel upset about something. Those emotions are, like I said, those are fleeting emotions. Those emotions are not going to stay with you. Those emotions are only for now, right? And later on in life, you're going to not feel that. You're not going to even care about what's going on, man. Not going to be mad about certain shit no more. So it's okay just to, just brush that off and be like, man, let me, that's how that is. Okay, man, look, and then do something positive with it. That's all it is, man. That's how we, get through this life that we're living. And I thank y'all for watching this video, nieces and nephews, man. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great night. And y'all do what y'all need to do today, man. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.